Miss Stanley, we'll let you go first.
Oh, yay, thank you. I don't have anything for the agenda. We have this week and next week, 6 more days of summer school, and then that will be over. I think it's going really well. The kids have been great. I don't know, you would think by now that they would be kind of sick of school, I guess, but our kids have just done a fabulous job. I've been really proud of them. I did want to say, I don't know when the last day is for Lisa Ellis and Sharon Sexton, but just wanted to mention that we have appreciated everything that they've done all this time that they've worked for the Board of Education. I know they've always been great to me, and I really do appreciate those two ladies. So just want to mention them. A reminder to the parents that we have pre-K openings and kindergarten openings, and I'm sure Miss Linda's probably going to say more about that after 5, but if the parents want to come by the office or call us, we have registration forms, and we will certainly be glad to sign their children up for that. If the parents have any other questions, we are there at school, so they're free to come by or call anytime they need us. And that's all I have, Ms. Esther.
Thank you. How about Miss Tanya? Is she with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You can go next.
All right. I do not have anything for the agenda. And like Miss Stanley said, you know, summer learning, I guess, is going really well. Have this week and next week. The building is getting ready for the beginning of next school year, just kind of working around and cleaning around the kids, just being in different classrooms. It's kind of hard to believe that it's July 1st coming up this weekend. But we're ready to go and getting everything going. And on that, I'd like to wish everyone a very blessed and safe 4th of July coming up this weekend. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Miss Goodman.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm basically repeating exactly what the other two principals have said. We are having school every day while also getting ready for next school year. As Miss Stanley has said, these kids have been great. They've come in here every day with little smiles on their faces, and when I talk to them, they're excited about learning. They're excited about the growth that they've had so far. The teachers are really excited with them, so we're tickled with it. Hopefully next year we can get some more kids involved when they see how well that it has gone over. And same thing that Miss Sharon said, Miss Sharon and Miss Lisa, you all have been there and been so good to us. You've always been helpful, and you are definitely going to be missed. It's going to feel odd to walk in and not see your all's faces anymore, because as long as I can remember, you all have been right there and helpful and kind, and we appreciate everything you do. And again, like she said, we're getting ready for next school year, and we're just about there. I told Linda Keaton today, I said, we're going to blink our eyes and it's going to be here. Time's getting away from us very quickly. But I hope everybody has a happy 4th.
Thank you. Mr. Cash with Fairview.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Again, I also want to echo what the other principals said. Our summer school is going well. Next week is our last week, and that is Tuesday through Friday because of the holiday. Also, my janitors my custodians have done a tremendous job working around the summer learning camp. So I want to just brag on them. Because I know it's not easy. The summertime is really hectic, and then when you got a lot of people in the building, it just throws another wrench in the a wrinkle in the plans. Also want to thank Miss Lisa and Miss Sharon. They've been wonderful to work with me and helped me out a lot. So just congratulate them on their retirement. And then also, maybe Miss Keaton will mention this too. We had a training last week for our K-5 teachers, mainly K-2, but also our K-5. It's all week downstairs at central office. And I know all of my teachers were there, and it was a really, really good training. And I was there for a few days. I wasn't there the whole time, but they were really excited about they was excited about training. They learned some good stuff that they're going to be able to use for next school year. So that's all I have. I don't have anything for the agenda, and that's all I have unless you have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Lisa Hamilton with Huntsville Elementary.
Hello, how is everyone doing? I hope you're having a good evening. We would like to say here thank you to Lisa and Sharon. They have been awesome. They're wonderful to work with. We are going to miss them. Also, thank you to our maintenance crews and technology crews. Our maintenance has been over here working on our rooms that we had to have fixed due to a lot of problems we were having with our septic systems, but it's getting underway. We're enjoying our summer school. I went by today and worked out with some kids on some sign language with their phonics lesson, and it was really neat to watch them, and they can all spell their names with their sign language. So that was really fun to watch them do that. We have been running 37 to 54 in our summer camp. That's regular attendance. And most kids, when you talk to them, they're all enjoying. I'm enjoying seeing them every day. We're having a good time. I'm still interviewing for people and trying to fill spots. I have one teacher spot for an interim teacher, and I interviewed today several people, and we'll be getting with Mr. Hall on those. Also, a teacher assistant position, I'm waiting to see on that one, and our custodian is actually, one of my custodians is leaving, so I'm interviewing for a custodian. So we've been very busy besides the other things that we're usually doing. Also wanted to say thank you to Dennis Jefferson, the town of Huntsville. They came out today and got a truck unstuck that was delivering mulch and got stuck in our playground up and on the hill. So they came out and helped us with that. And for our last day of summer school, we are going to have a summer bash at the Huntsville pool. So he's worked that out with us, and we're going to take the kids down there, the teachers are, and let them swim for what time the pool's open, and we're here in summer camp. So we're hoping to close on a good splashy time. That's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
Okay, thank you. Enjoy the pool.
Thanks.
Okay, how about Miss Amy Jeffers with Robbins? Okay, how about Miss Rector with Scott High?
Miss Rector's on a bachelorette girl trip
Okay,
with my daughter, her sister.
okay, you will be next, Mr. Hall.
You want to get supervisors, or want to get them? Or?
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Amy, or Amanda, you go ahead.
I'll go next. Okay, currently working on SR3. Our next meeting is going to be coming Tuesday, July 6th at 9 o'clock here at Central Office. I hope y'all can come. SRO grant, working on that. FERS will be starting soon, so that will be rebudgeted. SR1 and SR2 coming up very soon as well. Agenda items, I gave you a copy of the literacy training teacher stipend grant. It's just the one pager. It's for $50,000, but I'm sure Ms. Keaton will touch on that. So that's that. I do have GP Amendment 1. It does show this grant and reflects the Dollar General grant as well, bringing it in. You have a copy of the differentiated pay plan. We set aside now $75,000 in funds for those teachers that get 4s and 5s because we can't pay it out this year because we don't have test data. And then you also have a copy of the salary schedules. You've got the teacher, the countywide, and then the 3 new ones, the full-time assistant, the administration, and the central office pay scale. And that's all I have unless y'all have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now, Mr. Hall, you can go.
Do you want to get the rest of the supervisors before you get the plan?
Oh, I'm not with you today, am I? Sorry,
I'll let you get all in first.
She's anxious for you to
She's ready to
speak.
go. I'm not putting this, that's right.
We'll let you go next.
Okay. We
I guess the month of June. We start early in June with doing some summer training. We're probably about half finished now. We have done several. Have a few coming up pretty soon though. That's going to be really good. For example, July 8th, we have legal issues for special, regular ed, and principals by Bill Wilson. He's an authority on legal. And then the two that I really want to mention, July 13th. This is training for ELA on our basal series, CKLA, especially for 3, 5, and 6A. Both of those are on July 13th. For K5, it will be downstairs in our training room. And for 6A, it will be out at technology, and we'll have live training. And the TNTP group they are the ones that will do the presentation for that. They were also the one that sponsored our early reading training. That was so good, and I'll touch on that in just a minute. Another really good training coming up July 15th is Charles Beeman. He's been here several times with us. Differentiated instruction to address and overcome learning loss. That's going to be another good one. And we have several more even after that. So we encourage all of our teachers to go online and be class and register for some of these trainings. It's okay if you already have your one extra day that you have to do in the summer. You know, we're hoping that all of our teachers just want to learn as much as they can and attend and, you know, have a good day and get PDP points, because anytime you attend extra ones, you can get PDP points. So I wanted to mention that. And then I gave you a school calendar. I'm sure you probably already had one from several months ago, but just to remind you, like Ms. Donna Goodman said, I cannot believe it's going to be school starting time before we know it. And if you've got your calendar handy, just look at that. On August the 3rd will be our first in-service day. This will be all of us together in person at Scott High. And that morning, we will actually get to have a keynote speaker, Larry Bell. He has been with us before, and I encourage you to come and listen to him. His topic, I think, is Power of a Teacher. And he's just really great. He's very energetic, enthusiastic, and positive. And the last time we had him, everybody really enjoyed him. Then that afternoon is Virginia McCoy. She's our TEA attorney. And she's going to touch on some things that we all need to be aware of as far as legal issues and things that we have to deal with on a daily basis. So then on August the 4th, that's a day that's going to be split up. Again, we're going to have another ELA training for K5 and 6-8. And then we're also going to have a K-12 training for our math people. We did adopt a new math series for this coming school year. So those math people are going to have training on that day. And then other groups such as Miss Debbie and her special ed teachers, that will be a time that she can meet with them. I can meet with pre-K if I'm able to and don't really have to attend some of these others. But that'll be a time that those people that do not fit into ELA and math can also have training on that. And then, of course, August the 5th is another in-service day, and that's at individual schools. And then August 6th is a service day. So that's what we're looking at here in about a month coming up for our starting of school. And I do want to mention our week of June 14th, which was the early reading training. There have been 2 weeks of the early reading training. Week 1 was virtual, and it was strongly advised by our governor and a proclamation that he put out that any teacher who wants to renew their K-5 license needs to have training in early foundational skills. And this week 1 of early reading training will give those teachers that. Now, that was free. It was done virtually on their own time, not during the school day, but on their own time. And so they were able to get 30 PDP points for that, as well as fulfill that requirement of the early foundational skills. But those teachers who got registered in time that wanted to attend the in-person training on the whole week of June 14th, those are the ones that first they had to pass the test for week 1, and then they were able to come to week 2, the early reading training, and they will also will have to pass a test for that too. But then they will get the $1,000 stipend. So the state pays those. We had 45 that qualify for the $1,000, and the state paid the K-5 if we did have a few 3 through 5, but pre-K paid for the pre-K teachers. I felt like that was a good use of pre-K funds for them to get training in early foundational skills. It was the best week ever. Teachers were so positive, they participated, they were here on time, they were enthusiastic about everything that they had learned. And our presenter was Dr. Beth Blevins, who actually was hired by Elgin Foundation, and she's a reading coach with Fairview and Robbins. So she did a wonderful, wonderful job. And to beat all that, our Commissioner Schwinn showed up on Tuesday, the 15th. Since we didn't really have our summer camp at that time, she came and sat in a little while on our training. She interviewed some of our teachers, and I wish you could have just seen some of the posters and the things that showed what our teachers had learned. I actually took pictures of them. And she interviewed some of our teachers, and they did a really good job. We were actually on Channel 8. I don't know, at 6 o'clock news. I don't know if you were able to hear that or not, but they did a really, really good job. And so we were so proud that we were able to host that and give that opportunity for so many of our K2, mostly K2 and 3 through 5 teachers. The other thing I wanted to mention, I did receive a couple of days ago, testing just never ends, it never does. I got an email just a couple of days ago that says final raw scores files now available. We just got finished getting raw scores, getting those straightened out and sorted and giving it to the schools. And now there is a final raw scores files now available. And what they say this is previously reported scores will still be included, so most of it's going to be the same, and additional scores will be added. So if we had tests that didn't get shipped or for whatever reason we're not in that first group of scores, they're going to be in these scores. So I haven't even had time to look at those yet, but they do say this. Raw score results. Keep in mind these are raw scores and should not be used for performance level determination. And it will be July 23rd before we get the comprehensive data file, which will be available at that time. And so that's going to be the true scores. So we spend so much time, I'm sure, because I know we did, and Misty did here, and I sent it to principals, trying to figure out raw scores. And now they say, they don't really need to be used for performance level because they are not that meaningful necessarily. So in July, we are going to get their true scores. So anyway, it's very typical. The only other thing I want to mention is pre-K, and some of the principals mentioned that. I gave you a flyer. We have several, for anybody listening out there, well, we don't have TV here.
Yeah.
We don't.
Oh,
that's right. We have spaces available for pre-K and for kindergarten, and we have a super, super pre-K program and kindergarten program, and everything is free. So we hope that we'll have some parents out there that will get enrolled students. They can go to schools and pick up application or forms, or they can come by here, pick up those application packets, because we do have those spaces available. And the only main thing is we may have room for some 3s this year. And if they're 4, they must be 4 by August, on or by August 15th. If they're 3, they must be 3 on or by August the 15th. And so we're hoping to have a really good program. Last year, or this past year, kind of dwindled with the way everything was with COVID and all that. So we're hoping to have a more normal year with the program. So if anybody wants any flyers to put out, or, it is going to go in the newspaper here soon and online, and I've asked our teachers, pre-K teachers especially, to put this online and advertise and help us get additional students. And one more thing on free backpacks. On July 25th, on Sunday at 12 noon, parents and students can pick up free backpacks filled with school supplies up in the parking lot or outside K Mills. So that's a good addition for parents whose students need school supplies. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Miss Debbie.
Yes. In June, we just finished up our end of year report. We didn't have to submit that till July the 9th, but we got all of that completed and submitted to the state. We finished up our extended school year program for our students in the CDC classes, but we are continuing to provide those compensatory related services to those children that qualified. We did have a team that attended the PIG conference in Franklin. That was one of the grants that I had written last school year. So we attended that conference. Part of it was dealing with the summit program that the state offers to preschool children, and then the other half was talking about the pyramid program. So there will be several of us that will be redelivering that week of training that we received to our pre-K teachers when school starts back up. Ms. Keaton mentioned that July the 8th, Bill Wilson will be coming to do an in-service. We have had Mr. Wilson several times. He is a retired state attorney that represented the special ed department in Nashville. So he's going to be coming up and providing in-service to regular ed, special ed, principals, coaches, anyone that's interested in attending. His in-service is always so very informative. And then June the 22nd, a group of special ed teachers will be providing an in-service to regular ed teachers. I know at the in-service meeting that Ms. Keaton always has, there were some topics that regular ed wanted special ed to cover. So we will be providing an in-service for our teachers on that day. So we hope that we have a good turnout. And I do want to thank Lisa and Sharon here at the central office. They have just been wonderful to jump in if any of us need help, or if we get overloaded in one area, they help out. And so we will miss them greatly, and they have just been a blessing to all of us here at the office. I do have one thing for the agenda, and I think it's up there in your stack. It's a contract with Goodwill Industries, and this is for our students at the high school in that CDC classroom that qualify. And of course, this contract allows some of our students to come out of that class and go up and get work skills. Of course, it's no cost to the board. It does come out of the special ed program as far as contract services, and we're hoping to partner with Goodwill. Last year, we did partner with them as far as with our transition services. Because of all the COVID, we were not able to bring them into the building or get those kids out to the stores to do some work. So if we can partner with them again, last year, they were going to do that at no charge, allowing some of our kids to go up and learn some skills. But that's all I have. Do y'all have any questions about the contract? Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Paulette.
I don't have anything for the agenda. I think I've got everything approved and ready to go. I've got all the staff, I think, is all placed in all schools and ready for the new year. We'll be closing out, as they said, with summer feeding the 9th of July. I'll be bringing in all the managers the last week in July. I think it's the 28th is our first meeting to get ready. They'll have their first couple cleaning days in the schools. They'll be in on the 2nd and 3rd, which is August 2nd and 3rd, or Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, we will have the whole entire staff in service, and we will be going to Winfield School this year. We went to Birchville last year, and so I've been trying to use the cafeteria so we can all space out and have our in-services there. And then we'll be ready to feed the next Monday, first full day, so I think I've got everything in place and ready to roll.
Okay, thank you. Did you have something, Mr. Bowles?
Yes, ma'am. Everything at the garage is going real good, getting ready for the new year. I don't know if y'all heard about a couple buses that somebody went out there and cut the converters off of. The quote on them was like $8,800 per bus. Was that able to get through? We putting that in our insurance?
Did you turn everything in over here to finance?
Yes, I sent them what I had.
That's good.
And they were supposed to get the police report. We are one short driver for Huntsville right now for next school year. We had two drivers retire. Right now I use my full-time sub in that position until we can get some people in. So if you know anybody, please send them my way. We need all the help we can get. I do have one thing for the agenda. I would like the board to consider buying transportation, 3 new pickup trucks. The ones we have are getting pretty bad. Matt's is probably the worst. You'll be going down the road with that thing and he'll just quit. And you have to start it again and go. The harness underneath the dash has had some damage to it. So it just, Festus's truck is rusting out. Mine's starting to rust. And having different issues on mine too. And this doesn't have to be right now as far as what I'm about to say. I'd like in the future to think about purchasing a vehicle that we can use as a recovery vehicle. Something that's already stocked with water pumps, belts, stuff that we can jump in and go directly to a bus that's broke down. I think it would be very helpful for us instead of trying to gather everything at the shop. We already have it set up and go. But if you'd like to discuss that between y'all, that's something I would like in the future. But that's all I have unless you have any questions for me.
Okay, thank you. Do we have outside cameras set for this garage?
No, yeah, I think they're here.
Yeah,
We just don't have.
it's all part of the stuff that we were planning to do before COVID hit, and so that will, I'm hoping in the next few months, we'll be back to getting those going, because we've been taking care of the internal cameras, or the external cameras at some of the schools that were delayed as well. So yes, we have them. It's the plan to put them there.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. So that's you go next.
Start off by making sure we issue thanks to the Scott County Mayor's Office, Mr. Tibbles, as well as Cindy Mills of the East Tennessee Human Resource Agency. We have received the shipment of 124 touchless water faucets. Again, the value of these through the funding that they helped us with was $32,147. The faucets cost in the range of $259 a piece. So this is a big benefit to our school system, and we hope that it will help us curb the spread of the illness, not only coronavirus, but any other illnesses out there. So our guys will start installing those as soon as possible. We also want to thank the town of Huntsville for the use of a backhoe. Our maintenance department borrows equipment periodically from them. They're always very willing to loan us that equipment, and we do appreciate that. Also want to extend thanks to Lisa, Sharon, and also official retirement of Mike Silcox, a longtime maintenance supervisor. So all three of those are pillars of our school system and will be missed. Moving to the textbooks. We've been receiving next year's textbooks at our school locations. Pretty much everything is in-house, should be. Our new math book series, will be placing that order with Tennessee Book Thursday or Friday of this week. We expect to have those delivered to those school locations beginning next week or the week thereafter. So that will complete the student textbook needs for the upcoming school year. Moving to CTE, We will begin spending the FY22 CTE budget funds July 1, so day after tomorrow. So we're looking forward to getting that plan engaged, and that's something that we're looking forward to. Also, just kind of a little bit of foreshadowing to some good news for our CTE program. We have been informed that our school system and the local TCAT will be the beneficiary of Spark 3.0. These are funds that were made available from the governor and his initiative to support CTE education in the school systems. I will have more information about the amounts that we're receiving, which is far more than what we have received in Spark 1.0 or 2.0. So we're very, very appreciative of that, and I will share that with you as soon as possible. Moving to the maintenance side of it, as always, I want to brag on our crew of guys. They've been very, very busy this summer. We're keeping up with regular maintenance requests as well as added requests for HVAC and kitchen requests due to the students in attendance all the time. The guys have been great. They've been doing that, plus been staying up with some larger projects that we've got going on right now. One project in particular, I've been bragging on them. They are retiling the kitchen floor at Scott High School. You know, I was talking to Greg this morning. Those tiles are about this big and this wide, and they're doing the whole, pretty much the entire floor. And it makes them appreciate the much larger tile that's in the classrooms. They said that they would much prefer those kinds of tiles than those that are so small. They also have started shoring up and beginning construction phases in the Winfield press box, so we'll be moving to that project very, very quickly. Also retiling the Huntsville Elementary areas that we had the extensive sewer line repairs. That was a cast iron replacement of a pipe that went under a classroom floor, so literally had to excavate the trench in the workroom and in the classroom to dig that tile out. And I've got pictures of the damage that was in that particular tile, and it was far and away ready, well past ready to being replaced. So we hopefully won't have as many issues with that area going forward. Also, we've been meeting with contractors to get quotes on replacing the air handler controls at Scott High School. This is a very antiquated system that is in dire need to be replaced. So we'll get those quotes and hopefully move forward with that project soon. We've also been working on getting quotes with the water heater buffer tank replacement at Winfield Elementary. I'll talk more just in a second about that. We'd also like to announce very near completion of one large SR2 project for our school system. We have ordered pro sanitizing air purifiers. Now these air purifiers are, they have a pre-filter system, they have HEPA filters, they have nanocrystalline filters, UV lamps, and plasma sanitation in this one unit. And we've got enough ordered for every single classroom in our school system. We expect shipment of these classroom units hopefully before this beginning of this school year. I want to make sure and thank Mr. Bond and Miss Amanda for the assistance using TIPS purchasing agreement, which I think the board had allowed us to use consortiums and things like that. And I can't brag enough about that process because the purchasing of that, whereas it might have taken 3 to 4 months or something like that, and would have put us closer to Thanksgiving to getting these units into the classrooms, we found that particular TIPS contract and was able to use it successfully, and these units will be in much, much, much quicker. So I think that that'll be a big advantage. I also do have several items for the agenda. First item would be to add a report on an emergency declaration for the Winfield Elementary School water heater buffer tank replacement. This is in the form of a letter that I'd shared in your emails today. And the tank it's a water heating assembly where you've got a boiler and then you've got a big 250 gallon tank that sits right near. It services the kitchen area. So that tank has started to have a pretty substantial leak on the top. We had contractors to come in and take a look at it. It's irreparable. So we had to try to move forward as quickly as we possibly could in order to make sure that that tank system is up and ready to go whenever this school year starts here before too long. And it is coming very, very soon. So hopefully, if you have any questions about that, I'll be glad to answer them. Also, we have an agenda item to ask the board to renew the Scott High service agreement with Chem Aqua. This is a contract that we have had that treats the closed water circulating system in the Scott High School mechanical room. This water system, to my knowledge, services the Scott High boilers as well as the cooling towers that is used in the HVAC system. The rate from last year's agreement has not changed. The amount is $2,026.75. I have asked for an itemized basic design outline, if you will, for the services that we're requesting from Chem Aqua, and I will, as soon as I get it, I'll forward it to your email as well. Also, an agenda item to ask the Board of Education to accept bids based on the recommendation from Upland Design for the following ESSER II projects: the re-roofs at Huntsville Middle, Fairview Elementary, and sections of Birchfield Elementary, HVAC replacement, and the mechanical areas for Scott High School gym pod, wall units, and mechanical areas. Also, the Huntsville Elementary and Middle School cafeteria, as well as Robbins Elementary HVAC replacements in the old library offices there. Unless anyone has any questions for me, Mr. Hill from Upland Design is here and can answer any questions and go over the bid recommendations and specifications that was sent to your all's email, I think, yesterday. So.
Thank you, sir. You've been busy.
This is probably the most complicated bid recommendation that we brought to you all. To explain a little bit of background information, typically the roofs that we've done throughout the system have been a smooth surface EPDM or rubber roof. And what that's composed of is a structural corrugated metal deck below, and then a urethane type insulation and a rubber membrane that is glued to the top of that insulation. Now, the insulation is manufactured. There are two fiberglass felt sheets that go through a machine, and there's a chemical that is poured between those two sheets, and it foams up and expands and bonds onto those two surfaces. That fiberglass has a rough texture and is firmly attached to the insulation foam, and that gives a surface for the EPDM rubber sheet to be glued to. So that's the typical that has been done throughout the system. If you go to, say, Fairview, for example, and walk into a classroom and look up, what you see is not a drop ceiling. It's a concrete plank. There's a concrete system, spandex, there's different trade names, but it's a plank that goes from the hallway wall to the outside wall. It's about 3 feet wide, several inches thick, that when the school was built, those were placed in place with a crane. And the roof there is currently ballasted, meaning there's gravel that holds the roof down. There's a concrete surface, insulation is laid on that concrete surface, and then the rubber sheets rolled out, and this gravel is put on top, and just the weight of the ballast, it's river rock, it's tumbled, so there's no sharp edges, holds all that in place. Well, there are some advantages to the smooth surface roof. It's easier to find the leak. It's the main advantage of the smooth surface roof. However, typically, I talked about this insulation assembly being screwed down. There's a nationwide shortage of construction screws. There are other alternatives. It can be glued down. However, the glue that's used is basically the same chemical that's used to make the insulation. It's two components. It's mixed in a machine. It's squirted out on the roof and it foams up and makes an adhesive. Insulation is also in short supply, and the prices of the chemical used to make this glue are very high right now. So with that in mind, we bid two alternatives. We asked the contractors to price going back with a smooth surface roof, and the other alternative would be to go back with the ballasted roof. The ballasted roof appears to be a significantly better buy in the current construction market, and that would be our recommendation for those schools. But I want to give you all a little bit of background about why we're recommending that. Because by reusing, I'm just using Fairview as an example, I can take that ballast, I move it over to one side, take the rubber sheet up, throw it away, and put down a new rubber sheet and reuse the same gravel to hold it down. So all that's really being purchased is the rubber membrane. To replace the roof at Fairview with a smooth surface roof, I take the gravel up and throw it away. Take the old EPDM rubber sheet up and throw it away, and take that insulation up and throw it away because it's not reusable for gluing down new material. And the labor to go through and hammer drill and install fasteners into concrete would be quite expensive. So we feel like the school system's best value for the money right now is to go back with the ballasted roof system with these schools. If it were a metal deck project, as like say part of the Birchfield re-roof had a metal deck in that area, it becomes more economical. But with all that in mind, we think ballasted is the right system to go with at this time.
Lifespan about the same.
Yes, ma'am. Both would come with a 20-year warranty.
Ellen, I'm assuming that the bid was general enough to allow for either one.
We asked for two prices.
Yes.
We asked
Okay.
for this.
Okay, good.
So we did have prices for both options.
Okay,
So we were.
okay.
We did open up the last finance committee meeting. Over there.
Like say for example, again, we're just using Fairview. The base bid was $327,842, and it was about $170,000 less to use the ballasted system, so roughly half the price to still go back with a 20-year warranty. In certain situations, it is possible to get a 30-year warranty with this type of roof system, involving a complete tear-off, but we still think that the 20-year ballasted replacement is the best value on a cost per year basis.
I do, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The other two projects, HVAC replacement, were much less complicated projects to describe, and we would just recommend acceptance of the low bid on both of those. We had quite a few contractors that came and expressed interest. At the end of the day, we had 3 contractors submit bids for the boiler replacement at Stone High and 2 submit bids for the HVAC replacement of Robinson Household.
Questions?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you all.
If I was anybody. I see Miss Amy is.
Yeah, Miss Amy's down. She's on.
Miss Amy? Are you with us? No?
Thank you, Miss Evans. Items for the agenda, well, you do have a copy.
Oh, great.
That's all right. I told you.
Trying to compare it still.
The most important thing.
I wanted to hear you.
I'm calling her every time.
It's been a typical summer, lots of moving, relocations, classrooms. You'll have one person get a new position, but that'll create a domino effect of moving classrooms around. That's been pretty easy so far. The big projects we're doing right now are replacing all of the teacher stations. And so that's building the machines and taking them out to the schools and swapping them out. We've got about like 240 of those or so that we're doing. In addition to that, we've been doing a lot of external camera installs. Robbins and Winfield are the most recent ones. And that's been something that's been on the books since early last year before all this other stuff hit. So the rest of the schools will get those. Scott Hines is completed, Birchville's is halfway there. And I can't remember, I don't know if we've started Fairview or Huntsville yet, but that'll be pretty soon. Access control for the doors, electronic entry for the doors, we're working on that as well. So we can get in to at least the main doors with key cards or fobs. Tony's been doing a lot of trainings over the summer. One day he'll have one with 30 people, and like today he had one with 2 people, but they still get their full day of training either way. Doing a lot of that. Leetta's been dealing with a lot of transfers, enrollments, and scheduling and that nature. I've been just fixing all the stuff that comes up on the side. It's like every day it's something else. But so far, pretty typical summer. The active panels have been ordered. The last update they sent us was a mid-July shipping date on that. And there's a lot of parts to those. So while we might get the panels in, the computers that go with the panels, right now they're projecting mid-August. So I'm not going to have those in before school starts. I'd like to have, but it's just not going to happen. But what will happen is once we get them in and get everything going, they'll just, they'll start going out the moment we get them built. It's not something where we'll have to wait till all of them are done before we roll them out. But just lots of, it's a good place to be in. Lots of technology. We're replacing just about everything that we've got. Never would have thought we would have that opportunity in my lifetime. We've got another 500 laptops that we ordered in January are supposed to be here end of next week or week after, because they finally shipped out of China. So, and that will take care of it. They will first go to kindergarten and first grade of next year. So, because the kindergartners this year, we didn't have enough for them, so we'll catch them up before school starts and get those going, and then ends it all again. That's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hall.
Thank you. We'd like to act on items for the agenda. Ask the board to approve the board meeting and work session schedule for the 2021-2022 school year. That is in your packet tonight. Also, would like to ask the board to continue the STEM program for the 2021-2022 school year. There has been an increase on the price they're asking for this year. Also, too. Let's see. I also like to ask the board to create the following positions: 2 elementary guidance counselors. Now, these will be on the ESSER 3 funding as part of the learning loss bill. So we'd like to ask approval for that. Also, would like to approve the following out-of-state and overnight trips for the director, the principal, and central office, Division 4, July 18th to 21st for a principal retreat. This will be the first one that we have taken out of town in the past 5 years. So we would like to do that this year. And also would like to ask the board to approve the TOS dues for the 2021-2022 school year. That's the items for the agenda. As everyone has mentioned tonight, we'd like to thank some retirees that are leaving our system from the central office standpoint. Of course, Lisa Ellis and Sharon Sexton, who's worked here for a number of years. I'll say that you can't find better people to be part of a system that cares about their job, cares about their duties, and cares about the people. They have been absolutely tremendous in their roles, and they will be missed. But I will also say this, both of them will now be my secretary, split the duties on a 120-day contract. So you still will get to see them, and Lisa will still be here to help train the new HR person, insurance, the many hats that she wears in that role. So they will be here working both 120-day contracts. So that is a good thing for our system. They will stay and do that. As the principal mentioned, the summer camps, they've stayed in contact, and everything has just been so positive. One of the things yesterday that come out on the director's emails, they were asking as far as, and I hope we don't jinx, I'll go ahead and knock. I saw of all the directors that applied for the summer camps, they've been one case of COVID across the state, which did quarantine, and it was out in West Tennessee. I will say that, but so far it's been really good as far as with that. It's been pleasant, it's been uplifting, and it's been, I think, fun. But the main thing is we have tremendous learning that has taken place with teachers and the students as far as what's in place to do and the type of structure, the type of learning that is taking place over the summer. As Ms. Linda mentioned about Commissioner Swin visit, or the Read 360, always on June 15th. It was an outstanding visit. When they called, first they wanted to visit a summer camp and go to one of the schools. Well, we explained that we were taking a break that week because we had the Read 360 training going on. And my reply to them was, I don't know if she'll want to come for that. Immediately they called back and said, oh yes, we want to see that for sure. And so she came and had her little entourage, and it was a productive day, I think, for them. And she did also say that before the summer camp's over next week, she would like to get back. So we'll see. Hopefully that she could make a return visit next week. She also wants to visit the museum complex if she can get back. So that was very good as far as the meeting with the commissioner. As Greg mentioned too, with all the technology and all the work that's been going on, I'm very thankful and appreciative of what we've been able to do with the ESSER money and the ESSER funding. It's been, I know it's been challenging for you guys, and it's been challenging as we meet and put together things we want to do, prioritize. But it's been well worth it. And with also that being said, reminder to you guys, on July 6th, we will have the second round of our ESSER 2 funding, or ESSER 3 funding, excuse me. We have sent out a survey that is online for you guys or anyone that wants to participate, for parents and anyone. I did talk to our county commission at the last county commission meeting about give their input as far as the spending. It is part of the ESSER 3 that must be done. You must reach out to your community and reach out to your civic leaders, county leaders to get input. So we're doing that. That has to be finalized, I do believe, by August 27th. Reminder to the board, the TSBA summer long in Gatlinburg. We are still, as of this moment, at the Hampton Inn, and I've got no cancellations up at the top on the mountain. So if there is, we are supposed to be first in line. So right now, we are still at the Hampton Inn. Checked in on the 15th on Thursday, checked out the 17th on Saturday. Reminder, this is dead week for our high school athletes across the state of Tennessee. Would like to tell our coaches and our players and our athletes, this is time for you and your family to utilize it as such. So the dead week was designed for. I encourage all the coaches just to get away from it, stay away from it, and be with your families during those times, because the amount of hours that a coach puts in, you take away those families. And Ms. Sharp knows well, being a coach's wife, and my wife can attest to that. You have to, as Stanley knows, you have to be willing to understand and to know what a coach does, what they do. And the things we ask for our players today is a tremendous amount of time and effort they must put through. So enjoy the 2 weeks and just get away from it and relax your body, relax your mind. And when it's over and done, come back ready to go. It'll be here before we know it, guys. I think Ms. Debbie was talking today, we're gonna blink our eyes, and school's gonna start on August 3rd with the first day of in-service, and Ms. Keaton's got a great in-service plan for, this time, so I'll encourage you guys as we get closer to in-service to come take part, participate, and, to watch. It is a really good day, it's planned, and so is the week. And guys, that's all I have, unless y'all have any questions for me.
Okay. Silcock, do you have anything? Ms. Carly?
I'd just like to say about Ms. Sharon and Lisa, they have one thing in common. No, it's not in their vocabulary. They're great.
They really are. Do you have anything?
Wanted to express my thanks to the technology department for helping me with a sudden issue that helped me get back to work today. Thank you, Greg, as always.
Thank you, Larry.
Ms. Esther, can I add one thing?
Sure.
Ms. Janice Owens, longtime secretary at Sky High School, passed away on Saturday. Janice impacted a lot of lives, mine included. I'd always kid every day because Janice was a New York Yankee fan. And, we always had chats with baseball and those type of things. And those things impacted me, and she was always so pleasant to our kids, our teachers, and was loving. She visitation starts tonight at 6 to 9 over at the 4 Oaks. If you get a chance to stop by, another one's family would appreciate it. I mean, if you could go by. And again, keep them in your prayers, please. That's all I have.
Okay. Thank you. Thank everybody. We'll see you all at the board meeting.